Welcome to the ultimate Pacific paradise, Sydney. Sophisticated yet serene, a tropical playground with all the delights of an unspoilt natural environment. Sydney's your gateway to clean air, beaches and friendly faces. Come on in, the water's fine.
In Sydney, to drive a car is to be free. Free to roam our wide brown land. Free to express ourselves in red, white or metallic blue. Free to produce more carbon monoxide per capita than most countries in the world. Every day, 100,000 cars pour into the city. Each of them burns 5 tonnes of fossil fuel a year. 99% carry just one person. A third are travelling less than 3 kilometres. A quarter spend half their journey looking for parking. With speeds averaging 14 kilometres per hour into the city, traffic delays cost Sydney $2.2 billion each year. Due to major congestion on the road to freedom, a man called Moz is choosing to pedal it.
Sydney's choking on cars. I've got to do what I can to stop that.
Today, doing what he can means talking to one of Sydney's highest rating radio hosts, Stan Zemanek, a man who speaks to and for the car-loving public.
Yes, they know how to bury the stories of their left-wing trendy mates, don't they? Absolutely right, Stephanie, and I do think of your call. Okay, we'll do Moz first. 131873 is our telephone number. Hello, Moz.
How's it going, Stan?
Not too bad at all. Now, Moz, why do you call yourself Moz? What's your real name?
Chris Mosley.
I see. And you like to be called Moz?
It's what everyone else calls me.
Do they really? All right. Moz, what have you got exactly against cars?
For me, personally, it's just they're really expensive and, yeah, they don't go that fast.
Do you own a car?
I've never have.
Do you plan on owning a car?
I can't conceive of a reason why I would. I mean, if I start...
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
You're 30 and you've never owned a car before?
Never owned a car.
Fantastic. What do you do for a living?
I'm a computer programmer.
A computer programmer. Well, that's good. Well, that's fantastic. At least you've got a job anyway.
I'm sitting here in a suit in a wonderful corporate environment, mate.
That's terrific. Do you cycle to work in your suit?
Well, no.
You don't? Why not?
I cycle to work in clothes that are sensible for cycling.
Oh, I see. So if you've got a motor car, you can virtually wear anything then, can't you? You can wear a suit or you can go to work in a pair of Speedos.
Well, okay, you may, but I won't.
Well, that's the convenience of having a car, you idiot.
Moz is part of Critical Mass, bicycle activists who have been fighting the effects of car culture in Sydney for 5 years. The movement started in San Francisco in 1992 when hundreds of bike couriers stopped traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge, demanding bike lanes. News of the triumph filtered to cyclists worldwide, and Critical Mass now operates in 80 cities, from Berlin to Tokyo, from Jerusalem to Johannesburg. Every mass action has the same goal: car-free city centres, better public transport, and more facilities for cyclists.
I've often talked about the Critical Mass organisation, the group of hippies who think we should all be riding bikes. They gather in the hundreds of their last Friday of every month to ride through the city. They do. They just get in there, hundreds and sometimes thousands, just to parade through the city and hold up the traffic, and they constantly whinge about the lack of cycle paths and aggressive motorist behaviour. Moz, how long have you been a member of Critical Mass?
It's not a membership thing, you just turn up to the ride.
Well, that's fabulous. So what do you want? You want us all to ride push bikes, is that correct?
I think that if everyone who lived really close to the city either walked or biked to work, we'd get rid of half the congestion. Those who still wanted to drive could drive, and it'd be quicker and easier for them too.
But see, you don't understand my sort of thinking though, do you?
Well, I actually feel I do. I mean, when I need to...
Well, if you understand my style of thinking then you wouldn't go and cause all this disruption, because I think most people that drive cars think that people in critical mass are a bunch of morons.
Yeah, well, you're a talkback host, mate. Critical mass, the idea is you just get a lot of cyclists in a big mass filling up a city block. People will wander down between the cars handing out leaflets and saying, we're critical mass, we're just here, showing people that you don't have to drive a car. Fewer cars, more public transport, more cycling, more biking, more walking. We get a lot of people who wouldn't go to any other protest. People will come because it's legal and because it's safe and because it's fun.
How you going?
Having the police there reinforces that message.
Sydney is the only city in the world in which the monthly rides are legal.
We belong to the Street Crime Unit and Push Bike Unit at City Central Local Area Command. We got involved because of the initial problems that started when critical mass first started, and it was just traffic jams everywhere.
Inspector Dave Darcy is the liaison between police and activists. He is in charge of the police bicycle unit on the monthly rides.
Nice work. Ooh, very flash.
Dave Darcy is like, one of my friends calls him the hippie cop. He deals with the protesters, but he's the friendly face of policing protests.
Are they? They're just having a party. They're just going to ride round the mountain and then they go. They're very safe. No problem. No problem. Very safe. They're just talking. They meet here. They talk. They ride. That's it. It's fun.
And if he gets in good with all the protesters in the area, the police have much less problems with protesters.
Do you know Mozza yet?
I don't think I've met Moz yet.
Yeah, you need to meet Mozza. He's very infectious.
If you manage Dave Darcy right, you've got to have personal contact. Dave Darcy is a hierarchy man, and there's always one person at the top of the system. Okay, if you go to Dave Darcy and say, I am in charge of the protest, Dave will say, mate, let's do a deal.
It's taken time to win certain factions within the police service. There's some who think Darcy's a lefty cop out there, and there's a lot who think I'm a closet activist, and a lot who think I'm a double agent.
We've got to make sure that 3 or 4 of us get on well with Dave Darcy. And one of those people is always with him, so that whenever there is some hairy situation happens, Dave can say, what do you think's happening with the mass? Make the critical mass go that way. It's really important to me that critical mass goes that way now. And you jump on your bike and you run up to the front of the mass and say, look, everybody, there's a problem, go that way. And Dave Darcy goes, oh mate, you're my favourite protester of all time because you're in charge.
The normal way that mass operates, minimum aggro, maximum publicity. We want to keep the mass together.
That's the whole idea, critical mass together. And so we all try and stay together. So that means the motorists can't push us out of the way.
The first law of the mass is to keep it dense. At intersections, cyclists block cross traffic to allow the whole mass to move through as one.
We're aiming for a mobile carnival atmosphere rather than a heavy protest.
So what do you think of that guy saying, get a life, get a car?
Very, very unoriginal.
Why are you here today?
The usual, more public transport, less cars. It's just disgusting. There's no bike lanes in Sydney either. Okay, maybe there's 2, and they don't match up.
Critical mass!
It is in some ways a power trip for cyclists because we're biking someplace where normally we're intimidated out of going at all.
First critical mass. Is this your first one? It's the one. Thought I'd come down from the Central Coast for it. I can cause some havoc, grind some cars up.
crucial in any democratic society that police do their utmost to not oppress anyone wanting to express their rights. And it gets really tricky, but you've got to balance the rights of the individual to go about their business in a lawful way and balance the rights of people to protest.